What's going on, guys? It's Gino from Modern Accessory Review, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Sony SRS-XB33. As some of you guys probably know, I recently reviewed the XB43 and 23, and I have gotten a ton of comments asking to review the 33. So that is exactly what I'm doing here today. This medium-sized speaker comes in at $150, and I have to say I am a pretty big fan of what Sony has packed into the speaker for its price. But is it going to be a good option for yourself? Well, let's take a look. First off, there are definitely some huge changes when it comes to the build of the XB33 versus its predecessor, the XB32. The XB33 definitely got a huge design boost, and I have to say it looks really premium and it looks way better than the XB32. It is a little larger than the XB32, weighing in at 2.5 pounds, but it is still definitely portable. It will easily fit in a bag, but that being said, you probably won't have much room for much else. We still have this durable fabric on the speaker, except now it pretty much wraps around the entire thing instead of just being on the front like the XB32. And of course, we now have these awesome passive bass radiators on the sides of the speaker, which look incredible. And as you can see here, we still have these LED lights, which the Sony speakers are kind of known for, and they flash all kinds of different colors. And you can also get super specific with the colors within the Sony app that allows you to change the colors to your liking. Personally, I always just use the light mode that's already on the speaker when you first open it, because that's just what I enjoy the most and I haven't really needed to change it. And also, if lights aren't your thing, then no worries, because if you press this button on the back of the speaker, then you can completely turn off the lights. And turning off the lights will also save you a ton of battery life. And speaking of the buttons, we have all of the regular controls on the top here, including the power button, Bluetooth, pause or play button, the volume buttons, and the live sound button that changes the audio if you press it. And you can also switch to the stamina mode if you hold the live button down. That saves a lot of battery life. But stamina mode takes away from the majority of the bass, so I definitely don't recommend it. Behind the water resistant flap on the back here, we have even more buttons, including the light button that I just showed you guys. But that light button also allows you to see how much battery life you have left on the speaker if you press it. And then we have the party mode button and the stereo pair mode button. Now the party mode button allows you to connect to other Sony speakers, but only the new Sony speakers like the 43, the 33, and the 23. The older Sony speakers aren't able to use this ability. And the stereo pair button allows you to connect to another Sony speaker and then play through the left and right audio channels, which is a pretty cool feature to have, but to be honest, I've never really used it. Now we do have all of our charging ports on the back here, including a regular USB port, so you can charge your devices straight from the speaker, and a USB-C charging port, which is great to have as well. Now unfortunately, we don't have an audio jack, which I'm not too worried about because I never use it, but I know some of you out there may want that. When it comes to the battery life, Sony claims up to 24 hours of playtime, but unfortunately that's not the case here. First off, we can only get that 24 hours at half volume in stamina mode with the lights off. In stamina mode, it definitely doesn't sound near as good as the regular bass boost mode, which is the setting that is already on the speaker when you first turn it on. When stamina mode is turned off, Sony claims at around 14 hours, but realistically, you're probably going to have the stamina mode on and the lights with about 80% volume being played most of the time, and if that is the case, then you're probably going to see around 7-ish hours of playtime. This is definitely decent for a speaker this size, especially with the lights, but it definitely isn't great either. Side note though, this speaker is XP67 water resistant, which means it can be submerged in up to 1 meter of water for half an hour, and it is also rust, dust, and salt water resistant, so you don't have to worry about it at all if you want to bring it to the beach or pool. And we also have Bluetooth 5.0, which is the latest Bluetooth technology out in the market at the time of this video. Now, along with the new build, the XB33 has a completely new speaker layout. We now have two transducers in the middle of the speaker, as you can see with these white LED lights. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, we have the bass radiators on the sides. In the previous XB32, the bass was actually in the middle of the speaker and it shot out of the front and the back. So if you place the XB32 by a wall, then the bass would be amplified because of the bass being shot out of the front and the back. But unfortunately with this speaker, since the bass is shooting out of the sides, when you place it by a wall, the bass doesn't get amplified. But to be honest, that's not a huge deal because the bass is still generally deeper and it has a little bit more thump than the XB32. Now I'll definitely talk more about that in a second, but for now let's go ahead and jump into the audio test.
A pair of jeans, a shirt or two. We didn't pack as if we weren't going back. It doesn't matter if it's true. I've got a feeling love will give us what we lack. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. Yeah. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights. Tomorrow feels a year away, like the seconds, the beginning and the end. But if in time it's yesterday, your picture's gonna bring it home to me again. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. And if it's not enough, I wanna see the stuff the world has got in store. I wanna take it all in, I'm falling. The cityscape by night, wanna catch in my photos. Where you go, every corner twice as bright. They'll be my treasures forever. When I can't hold you tight, I'll see the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights. I'll see the Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights, the Stockholm lights. The Stockholm lights.
So I have to say, I really do like the audio from the speaker. It is super crisp and the vocals and highs are really clear for the size of the speaker. It sounds more open and vibrant, whereas the XB32 was kind of more muffled and close together. And if you saw my review on the XB43, you know that I was a little bit disappointed on the bass, but here on the XB33, I'm not disappointed at all because of the size and the price of the speaker. Of course, we aren't going to get that extremely deep and thumpy bass that we get in the high-end speakers that cost a ton of money, but for only $150, this speaker definitely has some heat. As a bass fan myself, I am always wanting more thump, so I am a pretty tough judge. That being said though, we do have an EQ setting in the app that allows you to slightly change the audio, and of course for myself, I always put that bass way up. Because I like the bass so high all the time, the EQ setting is definitely a plus for me. And another side note here, we also don't have any latency issues at all when watching video, which of course is great to have. So wrapping up the video, the Sony SRS-XB33 is definitely a classy speaker with all of the bells and whistles, except an audio jack. With the new speaker layout, clear sound, XB67 water resistance, those cool LED lights, and USB-C charging, I think this speaker is a great option for the price. But with only decent battery life and a slightly larger design, then this speaker probably isn't the best option if portability is your main priority. If you guys want to check out the speaker, I will link it down in the description below. But with all of that being said, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!